we find several direct hints as to the monolith's meaning before and during the Stargate sequence, which has long been one of the most puzzling aspects of the film. Firstly, the concept of visual alignment, as seen with Jupiter and its moons, is nothing to do with astronomy or astrology. For the first time in the film, we are seeing the monolith freed of its previously vertical stance as it floats around the screen. Several times it comes close to matching up with the frame of the screen itself. Eventually, it appears in the distance in its horizontal form, aligned with Jupiter's moons, and fades into the cinema screen. The shot scrolls up until we are faced with a black emptiness. The monolith has literally just become the cinema screen, and now our Stargate voyage can begin. We next see a high-speed journey along a vertical tunnel of patterned light, leaving both Dave Bowman and the audience tormented and confused as to its meaning. The music intensifies to the point of insanity, adding to our confusion, but then something odd happens. The Stargate switches from vertical to horizontal. Being that I haven't found a single review of 2001 that offers any kind of satisfactory explanation of this Stargate's paradigm shift, I'll put my own interpretation up for debate. This vertical to horizontal shift is a message that if you are going to understand this film consciously, then you should be viewing the monolith horizontally. Only then can you make a direct connection between the monolith and the letterbox shape of the cinema screen, hence the film's repeated theme of alignment. Once you do make this connection, the dazzling Big Bang explosion that follows the Stargate is a psychedelic metaphor for the sudden expansion of consciousness that Kubrick wants you to have. What a trip. And by the way, that isn't necessarily Dave Bowman's eye seen in close-up. It could equally be yours. This dazzling expansion of awareness is foreshadowed many times throughout the film. The Eye of Hal is boxed within a monolith-type rectangle. The dome-shaped structure at the first moon base opens slowly like a star-shaped expansion of space. The computer display of the approaching landing pad at the Tycho moon base bloats and expands in the same fashion. Hal's vision is also panoramic. The entire evolving universe sequence could equally be seen as a representation of expanding consciousness, and perhaps even as an intellectual rebirth. So, as fascinating as the film's intellectual narratives are, they basically preoccupy the audience's conscious resources while the concept of the monolith as cinema screen sinks in unconsciously. This is the central psychological factor that makes the whole Stargate and expanding universe sequence so overpowering. We are literally sucked in so that the film now engulfs us and our surroundings. So how about the onslaught of coloured light patterns in the Stargate? Well, I have two interpretations. First, this dazzling display is offered as a further distraction so that the horizontal shift and its connection to the monolith cinema screen relationship is even harder to consciously notice. My second interpretation is that Dave Bowman, having defeated the HAL 9000 computer in battle, is now gaining the ability to process streams of complex information that previously could only be done by advanced computers. These colourful streams of data then become assimilated into our view of the following landscapes. Both Dave Bowman and we, the hypnotised audience, are now literally seeing the world with new eyes. So having identified what the monolith represents, we literally have a newfound perspective of the story and its relationship to the viewer. 2001 is a giant conceptual puzzle that is challenging us to expand our consciousness. It demands that we think on higher and more complex levels. Kubrick expects each of us to evolve by using our untapped intelligence to decode the messages of his complex cinematic masterpiece. Only after we have made this great mental effort will a full understanding of the film's meanings dawn upon us. I doubt that Kubrick would have approved of any reviewer spelling out 2001 symbols in their entirety. So, in honour of his wishes, I am not going to offer any more direct verbal interpretations here. This is also because there is still much that I personally don't understand about 2001 symbols. Why do we see 7 diamond-shaped points of light during the Stargate? Why the Renaissance decor of the room at the end of the Stargate? If you have answers to these questions, I'm all ears. The one piece of advice I would like to offer in your attempt to make further sense of this incredible film is that you should take Kubrick for his word. When he tells us that 2001's messages are visually encoded, he couldn't be more to the point. And for those of you who never previously bought into the notion of Stanley Kubrick being a cinematic genius, or who thought that 2001 was a pompous and empty effort to appear more grandiose than it actually is, think again. I hope this review changes your mind.